Hello, hello. Oh, just gonna go. Okay, that's fine. It should be okay. Hello. Oh, just gonna. Ew. Hello, everyone. My name is Greta Bereisaite. I'm dating and relationship coach for women. For the awesome high value women secrets, subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload new videos and do my little YouTube lives where I'm sharing dating and relationship advice. Sorry to tell you, actually, high value dating and relationship advice, classy dating and relationship advice. And today's topic is a very long one because I got some time and I thought I'll stay with you here for a while. And today's topic is high value women dating and relationship secrets. So I have quite a lot of notes here. Hey, love, thank you for joining. I have a lot of notes here because I'm gonna stay here a while, ladies. So if you have any questions for me, if you're unclear about anything, just fire them up and I will try to communicate with you as I'm doing my live, okay? So I'm gonna try and go through the main bits and just add some like little bits and pieces that are a bit more detailed because I like to go in my personal one-on-one coaching, I like to go into like the detail because it's actually the detail that matters. On lives, I usually do a bit more general stuff, but I'll try to get into as much detail on this live as possible as well. Okay? Hey, that's amazing. That's good. So where are you ladies coming from? Let me know in the comments. How long have you been following me? How did I help you? If I helped you at all? Let me know in the comments here. So the number one, I thought I'll start from the beginning, right? So everything is kind of smooth and it makes sense and etc., right? So again, the topic is high value women relationship secrets. So I'll start with number one. I'll probably cover about from 12 to 14 points, maybe even more. So it's going to be a long while, like stick around. You're going to learn a lot from this one. So the number one that I wanted to start with is the most important, and it is differences between men and women. Now, why do I start with that? Because before you even start to date, you need to look at men and women as we are different. Because if you're not going to look at a man as he's different from you, you're going to be making mistakes in your dating straight away. You may not even go past the first date. He might not even ask you out on a second date, no matter how beautiful you look like, no matter how glamorous you are, no matter how like guys look at you and we go like, oh wow, she's so stunning. You may not even go through a first date if you don't understand the differences between men and women. The problem nowadays that we are really influenced to think that men and women are exactly the same. And a lot of women have expectations from men that these men should behave exactly the same way as their female girlfriends. So we have these unrealistic expectations. And when these guys don't fulfill these unrealistic expectations, women put the blame on them and we actually dump them or call them narcissists. Like one of the big examples, for example, would be communication, right? Women, we like to talk and express our feelings and emotions. We are very emotional. We can talk about relationships. Women are more relationship focused than men. Men are more things focused. So we can talk about our relationships, vulnerabilities, relationship with the sister, relationship with the father, relationship with the mother, relationship with the cousin, 10 years, 20, 40 years ago, relationship with the father, all these traumas and stuff like that. We like to talk about these type of stuff because we are very family focused, we are very relationship focused, we are very emotional, right? And a lot of women, especially nowadays, we expect for men to listen and to understand them and get involved in these communications as well, and when guys don't get involved, or we get bored, or we stop listening, or we start to avoid these type of topics, girls just go like, oh, he's so selfish, he's a narcissist, he doesn't have any communication skills, he's not good enough, he's ridiculous, and we judge men on that. And a lot of times even break up with guys, or guys break up with girls, because all these girls are like just talking about their relationships and relationships and relationships and relationships, and it gets really boring for the guys. He's like, "Oh, does she have anything else going on apart from all these relationships and traumas and vulnerabilities?" He reads you as a book. He's like, I can't do this anymore, and he breaks up with you. So it's really important to understand these differences. So for example, women like to talk a lot about relationships, whereas men, they like to, when you talk to him, let's say about a relationship with somebody, he thinks you sharing a problem with him, right? So when you share, because he's thinking, men are very logical, women are very emotional. So, as a logical male, he's thinking, why is she talking to me about this? What is the reason? Maybe she wants some help, because I'm a man, I'm a strong masculine male. I'm going to help her with whatever problem she has. So when you're talking to him about, let's say, a relationship with your father, maybe you had some issues, he's listening and he's thinking, what is the problem? What is the problem? And when you shared your situation, and he gives you the solution to the problem, right? And then, in order to actually show to a man respect, what you would have to do, you would have to take the solution that he's offering and apply it. That way, he would feel respected and that he has helped you, and your relationship would actually continue to be good. But a lot of women, because we talk for the sake of talking, we talk for the sake of to feel better. A lot of women, when a man provides them a solution, we get upset. We're like, no, you're not listening to me. Why are you giving me solution? I just want you to listen, etc., etc. So it becomes a bit like this, right? So women like to talk, to communicate, overshare, whereas men are more like problem solvers. So this is just like one example of the differences between men and women. And it seems like a simple example, but when you don't understand this, you will have big problems. For example, I remember I was 22 and I was dating this guy. And I would talk to him actually a lot about my family, about, let's say, problems with my dad, right? And he would tell me a solution. And obviously, I wouldn't take it. It would go over my head. All I wanted to do was just talk, right? And he would give me a solution. And the next time, few months later, we're talking about the same thing, and I share with him again the same story with my dad. Same thing, a little bit different, but the same thing. And he's like, but Greta, I already told you what to do. And I'm just thinking like, ooh. And then the third time, couple months go past, and I'm again sharing with him the same story with my dad, and he's like, Greta, you're a bit crazy, aren't you? Like, why are you telling me the story again? I already told you what to do, And when I started to think like, maybe I am a little bit crazy, like what's going on? Maybe something is wrong with me. And then I realized that I'm not crazy, I'm just a woman, and I like to talk and share in order to feel better. Whereas he is, as a man, he wants to help me and fix my problems. So I can talk about, let's say, a relationship with my dad if I'm having some issues and I just want to vent, but I don't talk to a man about it. I talk to a girl about it, because a girl would understand me and she would do the same thing in return. And we can literally talk about the same issue 5, 10 times, because all we want to do is just share and get it off our chest and we feel better, right? Men don't do it. For them, it has to be, there's a problem, there's a solution, you move forward. Saying this, nowadays, men are a little bit better. a little bit better, meaning there are more feminine men out there, so we kind of understand the listening a little bit better. But with a masculine male, he's gonna listen, he'll tell you what to do, and if you're gonna start repeating yourself, he'll be like, something is wrong with you. You're like, you're too emotional, you're a bit like something is not there, right? So there are a lot of differences between men and women. And only when you understand these differences, when you learn about them, only when you know them, this is when I would say you are ready to date. If you don't know these differences, don't even step into the dating world, because you will get manipulated and you will get used and abused and you will get your heart broken, because not only that guys will lie to you and take advantage of you, you will also behave in a very unattractive way to guys that they just not gonna fall for you. They're not going to develop feelings for you. They're going to be like, oh, she's crazy, like something's wrong with her. She's hot, but she's a bit like, you know, not a girlfriend material. So you have to be very careful with that. The second one, once you learn the differences between men and women, and ladies, I have a video, amazing video for sale on my website, where I go in depth about differences between men and women. I highly recommend you to get that video. The second one towards high value woman secrets, I would say, is don't pursue men. Nowadays, women, because of this equality, women are really influenced to pursue men, to go after them, to chase them, call him, text him, approach him online. A lot of times, you know, a girl might send the first text to a guy on online dating, and maybe in the beginning you'll look at the profile, you'll be like, wow, she's hot, she's cute, you know, and he'll take his time to reply, and he'll reply, and he might even sound eager and kind of into you. But majority of the time what happens, these guys completely last minute, they either ghost you or they cancel the date. Why does it happen? Because before even him asking you out, you asking him out first, it's kind of like his goal is already achieved without him even starting to go after you. Ladies, men fall in love with a process. He falls in love with the process of pursuing, charming you, figuring out how to get to you. You know, his mind gets all creative and stuff. You become like his goal, and he's thinking of like these creative steps how to get to you. So when you actually ask a guy first, he's like, okay, she's already into me, you know, there is no reason for me to try and get to her, because like the goal is already achieved. So even if you're really really good looking, his ego might get quite stroked, because he's like, oh wow, this amazing beautiful lady approached me. He might even show the picture to all of his friends, but majority of the time he'll even cancel the date with you. Remember, ladies, masculine men do not want to date masculine women. And when you are pursuing, when you're chasing, when you're calling first, when you're texting first, when you're asking him on a date first, when you text him first after a date, you're actually behaving masculine and you are turning him off. So you have to be very careful not to pursue men. And even like sometimes we give like clues, thinking like, you know, for a man to pursue us. If a guy is a bit older, he doesn't need any of your clues. He knows like how women are, how they behave. Men are not stupid. Like the clues, maybe if a guy is like a teenager, maybe he'll need some clues. But if he's over 30, he doesn't need any clues. You don't need to like, oh, you know, I like, you're talking to a guy and you're like the first one suggesting the restaurants that you like. If he wants to take you out, he'll find a way to he'll figure out a way how to ask you out. He doesn't need any clues. A lot of times giving a guy clue can also show like too much interest. The same goes with compliments. A lot of women don't understand that complimenting a guy is pursuing as well. You know, when you compliment a man, you're basically showing, you're giving him safety and security. And he's like, oh, wow, she's so into me. I'm going to give you one example. I was watching recently a video clip. I'm not going to give the names, but all of you know the names of these people. So the guy was really like a famous guy, and he was interviewing a lady that was very famous as well. And the guy is known, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but the guy is known as this alpha male. He gets a lot of criticism. And this lady is known as this, like a relationship coach. I'm not gonna give any names, right? Anyway, this guy, like this lady is waiting for the interview. So she's quite excited. She's gonna she's going to interview this alpha man, right? And as soon as the man walks into the room, she loses it. She starts to giggle so much, like a schoolgirl, you know, like just like everything just shows like like this, you know. And I'm looking at this, and I looked at the comments. Everyone was in disbelief. Like, how is she like behaving like this? Like, what's going on? She's so cool online, and this guy walks in, and she's like giggling and stuff. This type of behavior shows to a man that as a woman, you're putting him really, really high on a pedestal. And actually, you're behaving opposite as a challenge. He's thinking like, oh, wow, that was easy. All I had to do is just like walk into the room, you know. But if you're staying calm and collected, if there is like not, you can smile and flirt. If he's like, let's say he's like, hi Greta, like, you know, throws you a compliment, takes your hand, you can do a little, you know, flirt. But if he just walks into the room and says hi, and you're like, you know, all of this is desperate. It's not desperate, it's too much excitement, you know. And it's gonna turn the guy off. He'll be like, she's too crazy about me, you know. I remember I was about to interview a guy, and he is quite well known. And I'm very nervous when I'm interviewing somebody else on a camera with me. Like, I'm very nervous when I'm doing a video myself, I'm fine. When I'm filming with someone else, I get insanely nervous because I'm taking responsibility for that person. I'm thinking, what are we going to say? Is the content going to be good enough? There's a lot of things that go through the back of my head when I'm filming with someone else, right? So I get very nervous just before the filming, and sometimes even in the beginning of the filming, if it's with someone else. And I was supposed to film with this guy, right? And I'm like not talking. I'm thinking so many thoughts going through my head about the content, what is he gonna say, etc., right? And I could see that he looked at me like I'm getting too awkward. And I could see that he got a bit arrogant with me. And I knew exactly what he was thinking, but I didn't care enough to explain myself, right? And when we started to film, I got into my normal self, and I was, you know, talking and laughing and teasing and whatever else. And then he relaxed and he became himself. And after the filming, he was actually trying to flirt with me because I could see that he's like, you know, he likes me. Whereas before that, because I was quite awkward, I was like, I looked quite stiff, I looked like, you know, nervous. He thought, oh wow, Greta is so crazy about me. That I could see that he was walking like, kind of like, I don't give a crap about you. So this type of feeling is really important, like not to put guys on a pedestal, you know. Because when you're too nervous, when you're a bit too giggly, when you're a bit too that, they're like, oh wow, she's like, you're giving him too much safety and security, you know. And he starts to kind of take you for granted. He's like, oh, I already got her. Especially if a guy is an alpha guy, if he's super cool, if he can get girls like that, he'll be like, oh, just my presence is making her nervous. Or she's giggling just because I walked in like that. He's not gonna care. He'll be like, okay, maybe I'll play along a little bit, but he's not gonna care, especially a masculine male. A guy that's a guy maybe that's a bit more on the softer side, he'll be okay with that. But a masculine male is gonna go for a girl that's a bit more of a challenge. You don't have to be mean, you don't have to be rude, you don't have to have this bitchy face, but you have to be quite calm and collected when you're talking to him. So he can't completely read you. He needs to try and figure out, do you actually like him? This is the mistake that women do nowadays. They think like, I have to show him that I like him. You don't have to show him that you like him. You need to be polite, you need to be happy, you need to like have fun with him, but like you would have fun with a friend. You don't have to show him that you actually like him. Men are cool, men are confident enough, and it's for them to actually charm you and to basically seduce you and all of that. So don't give him too much safety and security, because he'll get stepped back and he'll get a bit turned off. Right, I'm just thinking about, okay, so this was actually my point about not to wear your heart on a sleeve too much. So the way, let's say, a lot of women, as women, especially like when we are nice and sweet and good, we tend to think like, okay, the more I will tell him how I feel, the more I will communicate with him, the more vulnerable I will be with him, the more I will open up. If I'll tell him I love him, or if I tell him I miss him, he's gonna feel very safe and secure and he'll fall for me. Ladies, remember, a guy's love need is not safety and security. A guy's love need is you being a bit more mysterious, a little bit, as I said, him like not being able to read you, thinking, does she like me? Does she not like me? How can I conquer her? All of that. A woman's love need is safety and security. This is why men, when we come after you, we try to love bomb you. Why do men love bomb you? So you would feel safe and secure. So he goes like, you're pretty, yes, you're this, I'll marry you, we'll have children, I'll give you this and this, you can trust me, I can provide for you, like it will be in a relationship from today, all of that. No, I'm very loyal. He's giving you the safety and security. He's giving you all these compliments because this is actually a woman's love need. But when a woman gives this to a man and she goes like, oh, I like you, I fancy you, oh, you're handsome, or she's like giggling when she sees him, or she gets a bit too awkward, you giving him too much safety and security, and he's getting a bit bored. Even something like, I miss you, a man should be saying this to you first. You can just say like, oh, you can say miss you too if you really want to. I love you should always come from a man first. Don't say I love you first. It's basically going to the old school ways. How our grandparents and parents were raised to behave. This is what still works in today's society, because men and women are still born as men and women, and it will always work like this. Nothing like these tactics will never change, because men will always be born with tons of testosterone, and women are gonna be born with like different hormones. We will always be different. Therefore, all of these things, no matter the circumstances, will actually stay like this. Because this is our love needs. This is how we fall in love. Another one. Okay, wait, let me just see your comments. Let me see what you ladies are saying. I already know. Okay. I know exact interview you're referring to, and I thought the exact same thing. I was quite surprised by her actions. Yep, made bad mistake. Never heard of this concept before following you, but makes so much sense. Good, good, good. Wow, what a great point. I'm already enjoying my life. Good, very good. Oh, everyone is England, Senegal, Italy, fantastic. I just found you. I have been scrolling and saw you. Oh, that's good. Brazil, Bangladesh, big fan. Hey, okay, fantastic. From France, beautiful. Right. What I wanted to say also, the questions to never ask a man in the beginning of dating. One of them would be, where do we stand? Okay, because you're putting it on a guy where the relationship is going, right? If a guy's, if you're behaving correctly, a guy is trying to figure you out. You know, when a guy is trying to figure you out, he doesn't know 100% how do you feel about him, what you're thinking, all of that. So then his goal becomes to like mark his territory and get you as fast as he can, because he can't have you. Like, the first date went past, he gave you all these compliments and all of that, and you're still like walking around, not caring. The second day goes past, he's all charming and stuff, and you're still like, ooh, la la, you're all cool. The third day goes past, he's like, can't figure you out. He's giving you all this safety and security and compliments and calling, and he can't figure you out. So now what happens, it becomes his goal to have you in a relationship with him, right? So when women say like, where do we stand, or I'm looking for a relationship, or where is this going, you're giving a man too much safety and security, and you're the one who's kind of like trying to figure him out, and you're the one that's kind of going like, I want a relationship with you. So even this type of question can put a guy a bit off. Even if he was quite into you in the beginning, he could be like, oh, I feel like I'm gonna step back a bit because I'm not feeling it with her that much anymore, because he feels like he's got you. So in a way, ladies, how do you keep it up for a lifetime? You have to you have to change your mindset quite a bit, in a way that men are not perfect, understanding differences between men and women, not putting a man on a pedestal. You're not gonna put a guy on a like, how many of you put a guy on a pedestal when you actually get to know him, like a year in, 6 months in? Do you still put a guy on a pedestal? No, you don't, because you got to know him, you got to know his flaws, you got to know what he's all about. So why are you doing it in the beginning when you actually have no idea about him? So don't put him on a pedestal. Know the differences between men and women. Know what works. And if you want him to love you forever, I think, well, then it's worth it to change your mindset and not like walk around wearing your heart on a sleeve and sharing all your feelings like you would be sharing with a female friend. If you want a relationship to be happy and healthy, it's worth it to learn how to behave with a man so he stays interested in you. Guys learn this about girls. We learn this. When we go on a date, we don't talk about cars and whatever, engineering, and how this detail goes with this detail. And he doesn't talk about sports. He actually knows how to charm you. He actually plays with your hair a little bit. He gives you a compliment. He opens the car doors. We learn this stuff, how to keep you interested. So you need to learn how to keep him interested. Like a lot of women, oh, I just want to behave how I feel. I just want to be myself and behave how I feel. So you just want to just be whatever. If you're gonna be just whatever, you're gonna get just whatever. Life is not about whatever. If you want to go to college, you make sure you have good grades. If you want to build a business, you don't go like, oh, I'll just do whatever, and I'll just, it's just gonna happen. I'm just gonna become a six-figure business owner or a millionaire. No, you have a strategy for everything in life. You know, so if you want to have a happy and healthy relationship, you need to learn how to be with a guy so he actually falls in love with you, not just like whatever. You know, women that kind of just go like, oh, I just want to be how I feel. These women are usually really, really spoiled. These women are usually the ones that got everything from their parents because the parents were too scared to say no because we didn't want to see all the crying and the tantrums, and you know, we spoiled them. And then actually my most difficult client, I remember one of my most difficult clients was a while ago, and she was an actress, and she was just like, I just want to be whatever. And she was just so spoiled. She's just like, why can't I just be whatever? And she didn't have any lasting relationships because she just wanted to follow her feelings and just be whatever. So this might work really well in acting because you act based on your emotions, but it doesn't work like that in real life with dating with men, you know? Um, right. I was gonna like to scroll my, I was gonna go like this. Oh, let's scroll. What's next? Taking to the next point, emotional control. Men are logical, more logical. Men can be emotional too, but women are more emotional and less logical. However, in order to have a happy, healthy relationship, you need to learn how to be logical. You don't have a choice. If you're gonna act on your emotions, you will lose. You know, so for example, where do women act on their emotions? If they are assuming things, if they overthinking things, if let's say you have a healthy relationship, but your friend had a guy that cheated on her. Now she's telling you, oh, if he's behaving like this, it means he's cheating on you. When you look at your relationship, you go like, yes, behaving like this, it means he's cheating on me. Now you're overreacting and confronting the guy because your friend said he's cheating on you. Now you're assuming he's cheating. Like emotions. You know, you have to control it. You have to look at the whole relationship at every step that you're taking logically, and only take that step if it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, don't take the step. And emotional control goes with screaming and shouting, none of that. Crying, try to control your crying. Getting upset, what are you getting upset for? A lot of times we get upset over assumption, over insecurity, you know, or over assuming something negative, something bad. You know, control yourself. Try and think a little bit more positive. Actually, to be honest, ladies, when we think in a bit more positive way, if we assume more positive way, we lose our emotional control much less. But if your assumption majority of the time is negative, whatever the thing is, majority of the time you will lose emotional control. You know, another thing is picking on details. I was talking to my friend here, she's another relationship coach from Black Swan Academy, Chengi, and just picking on details. Being high value, ladies, is you being high value is understanding the differences between men and women, and you're being easy to be with. When you're high value, a man doesn't tiptoe around you. You're very comfortable with one another. It's pleasant. There are no issues. There are no arguments. It's fun, laughter, it's peace. You're enjoying the moments together, right? When you start to pick on every single thing, oh, he didn't wash the glass of water, oh, he said this to somebody, she said this to somebody. If when you start to pick on every single little detail, or you start to assume, oh, he didn't text me today, He didn't reply to me immediately. Shall I not reply to him for 3 hours? Oh, he replied to me 4 hours later. Greta, shall I reply to him 2 days later? When you pick on every single detail, you're not making the relationship easy. You're making a guy to tiptoe around you. You're making it very hard work for him to be with you. Eventually, he will get tired. He wants to come back home. He wants peace, especially if he's a successful businessman, if he's got, he's got a life going on. He wants peace when he's home. Yes, there are some boundaries that need to be set in. So let's say he respects you and values you, and he's like not taking you for granted and stuff like that. But if you're gonna pick on every single little thing, oh, why did you not put XX at the end? Why today did you send me 2 messages and there is no phone call? Oh, you didn't text me for 2 days. Oh, who's that girl did you talk to? Why did you do this? Why didn't you open the car doors? Like, if you're gonna pick on every single thing, you're gonna make it too hard for him to be with you. You're gonna be a problem. You don't want to be a problem to him. You want to add to his life, but you want him to appreciate you adding to his life. Same as a man, he needs to add to your life, but you need to appreciate him adding to your life. You can't criticize him and take him for granted for that. So emotional control and not picking on little things, it's really, really important. Another thing, what I find with a lot of people, especially my American clients, because majority of my clients are Americans, it's just how YouTube works, for some reason it promotes me the most in the United States, don't know why. I got plenty of European clients too, but it's actually Americans that are the majority. I find that a lot of American clients, they want every day to be like a happily ever after. Ladies, it's impossible. Life is not a fairy tale. Your relationship, your marriage will not be a fairy tale that you're gonna have like a happily ever after every single day. That's humanly impossible. To have these expectations from a relationship that everything's just gonna be beautiful and splendid and perfect every day. He's gonna be giving you compliments, cuddling, kissing you all over, giving you flowers and all of that. It's impossible. Like, you have bad moods, you have good moods. Another difference between men and women, men need to pull away from women. We need to, I share this in differences between men and women. Men are, when we with you and we pursuing you and we spend time with you, and let's say we get really close to you, after a while we feel the need to step back a little bit just to get their energy back. Like, it's actually even proven by science. Let's say in the beginning of a relationship, let's say a guy sleeps with a girl, right? After a guy sleeps with her, his testosterone levels drop. Whereas for a woman, the opposite happens. So after intimacy, a woman gets attached to a guy. She's like, where are you going? Why are you going? Like, she just wants to be like attached to him. Like, that's it, like done. Like, we together forever, I love you, all of that, right? This is usually a woman's instinct after intimacy. Whereas for a guy, he is pursuing her, and after intimacy, his testosterone goes down. And actually, the first thing he wants to do is to kind of remove himself from a woman. And when he removes himself from a woman, then his testosterone starts to go up and he starts to feel good again. And then when it reaches this up level, he comes back and starts to pursue again. Now, women don't understand this. So when a guy removes himself, takes space from you after intimacy, majority of women panic. They panic. We start to text, call, what happened? You, this name, how dare you? You used me. You didn't call me. You're blah, blah. And guys, what do guys do? We go like, oh, wow, take a chill pill. What happened to you? You're losing emotional control. What's going on? And it's because a woman is panicking because she just gave herself and she gave all she's got. She gave her vulnerable self. and he's, you know, and her love need is safety and security, and this guy is like disappearing, right? So she's panicked, she's panicking, right? She wants to be close to him. Whereas for him, because his testosterone level dropped, he actually needs some time by himself, do his own thing. When he does his own thing, his testosterone goes back up again. And after a few days, he actually gets in touch and he's pursuing you all, you know, all again. And actually everything is beautiful. But a woman doesn't understand that she just needs to give him time a little bit to step back from her and just to get his testosterone levels back up and pursue her again. So because she doesn't understand that, she panics, and a lot of times she ruins the dating and relationship before it even actually gets into something serious. You know, and men don't understand that because we are different. Everything is like, you want to have a happy, healthy relationship. Number one, understand the differences between men and women, and only then start to date. You know, and then it's like 50% of the time things will go smooth just by understanding the differences. And to be honest, if you're dating in a society where men are still good, we still like good men, it's probably the main thing that you need to know, and everything else will just be smooth. If you're a bit in a society where people are playing the games and this and that, blah, 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 then you need to learn the game as well. And the game is very real and the game is very big. And ladies, if you're not gonna know the game, you will get used, abused, you'll shoot yourself in the foot, and you'll just be manipulated and used. Like, for example, right, I told to you all today that being too open, it turns guys off, right? However, men that play games, we read books about women and we think like, oh, when a woman is open and she talks a lot, she feels like she's bonding with a guy. The more a woman talks about her vulnerabilities with somebody, with a guy, the more she feels bonded, right? So let's say this guy couldn't care less about your vulnerabilities, couldn't care less about you talking because he's a guy. We don't bond, guys don't bond like that. Guys more bond through having some fun, some banter, you being a challenge, you being a little bit mysterious, right? But he read in a book that this is how a woman bonds, let's say a pickup artist. So now when he chats you up, he goes like, oh, Greta, so do you have any vulnerabilities? Right? Because he wants you to open up so you would feel safe and secure and you would bond with him more. When you start to share your vulnerabilities because you think, oh, what a nice guy, he cares about me so much on a first date, what are your vulnerabilities? You know, what does he do? You start to open up, you start to share, you start to feel like you're bonding with a guy. He takes all that information because now you're sharing with him your vulnerabilities. He puts it in his head, right? And going forward, he uses that information against you. So number one, you opening up, right? You're getting your safety and security. Oh, wow, he cares so much. He pretends more that he cares, right? He takes you here, he takes you there. Maybe even he pays for you. You sleep with him now easily because you opened up and you feel like you bonded, because women think that the more I will talk to a guy about everything, the more I will bond with him, you know, he'll find out a lot about me, then we'll have this connection, then he'll never leave me. We don't understand that guys don't fall for that. He can listen to you all night talking, all night sharing your vulnerabilities and feelings and all of that, and he can sleep with you and disappear for good. He can ghost you the next day for good because it's boring for him now. He knows everything about you. And this is not how men bond, right? For him, bonding with you is not being able to read you that well. You know, so this is what pickup artists do. They try to get you to open up. Then when you open up, we sleep with you and we dump you the next day. And when you're vulnerable, you get angry, get vulnerable, you know, and yeah, so you need to know the games. So there are a lot of games. Guys play so many games, and there's different types of games. Some games, guys charm women, we promise them the world, and their only goal is to get them to bed. Other games are, he's trying to get you to open up, he's trying to get you to share all your vulnerabilities so you feel you're close to him, and then that way he gets you into bed. Another game is, this works more on girls that are a bit more insecure, that are a bit more like teenage-like, that never really grow up. Guys go and they put women down, especially if you're very beautiful, if you're getting compliments left, right, and center. He purposely puts you down so that way you feel like you have to stand up for yourself, like you're getting all these compliments, and this geeky guy is putting you down, so you get more intrigued. So some women go for this type of guy, and when he treats you bad, and you get more intrigued because he's the only guy that's treating you bad, so you feel like you need to prove yourself to him. So there is so many strategies, ladies. You need to know the games, otherwise you will get played. But these are games more for dating. In relationships and marriages, there's a different type of game. So what's really common, maybe not so much, this is common, to be honest, all over the world. It's teasing, him trying to find a trigger in you, and then when he triggers you, he checks, will you overreact? Will you lose emotional control? If you will lose emotional control, a lot of times a guy will lose interest in you. And it's a little bit like a test as well. So I have this client. Oh dear, poor girl. Now she's better. She said she's better for the last few months. But when we started to coach, oh dear, she was good. She would listen advice and everything else. She was good until the guy would say a little tease, and she would lose, like, for example, she's very beautiful and all of that, and the guy said as a joke, what are you, size 16 or something? And she's size 12, right? And because she had a little bit insecurity with the weight issue, she overreacted. I'm not size 16. How do you dare to call a woman like that? Did your mom not teach you this and that? That's so offensive. She completely destroyed him. She threw atomic bomb on him, bomb on him. And the guy was like, whoa, this is crazy behavior. And when he apologized, and when he ghosted her, so a lot of times guys will say something a bit a bit that gets you a little bit, to see, will you lose emotional control? You know what you do? You roll your eyes at it. That's what you do towards things like that. Because if he's telling you something a little bit, if it's a dig, he's doing it on purpose. Because he's a grown-up guy, he knows what to say, he knows what not to say. Ladies, think about yourselves, right? When you're digging at somebody, at a girl, some women put digs at girls. If you're digging at a guy, if you're being sarcastic, you know when you're doing that. You're perfectly aware. You're not stupid, right? Same with a guy. If he's digging, it doesn't necessarily mean that he means it. It's more like a provocation to see how will you react to this. Will you lose emotional control? So if somebody is digging, you roll your eyes, you go like, is that all you've got? You have to do, next time try better than that, because this is that's not up to my standard, honey. Roll your eyes, yawn, don't reply, but do not lose emotional control. I remember my parents, I'll never forget it. I was like, you guys are just something else. We were playing this game. It was quite silly. I shared this so many times, but I just I saw it real life, and my parents we kind of we come back at each other a lot. Not every single time. I can see sometimes my dad teases my mom, so I always tell like he's teasing you, like, you know. But I remember this particular one, and it was just like so funny. So what we do, my mom, we had this, like, it was a long time ago. So we have this kind of like a thing in Lithuania that during Christmas you put on like little piece of paper boys' names, right? And one of the family, and then in the morning, you know, like you wake up, there's like under the pillow, you put all kinds of names, you roll them up so you can't see it, and you like wake up and you put your hand under the pillow and you take the name, and if it's the name of whatever, the boy, you're gonna get married to the boy's name that you pick, right? So one of the family members was putting a long time ago, okay, was putting the boys' names, you know, on a sheet of paper, right? And I'm just like, one name, two, like 7 names, whatever, 10 names, whatever else, right? And my mom was like, and my dad is here, my mom is here, right? And my mom is like, oh, Greta, what names are you putting? Maybe, and she's looking at my dad and she's like, oh, maybe I should put some names down as well. My mom is super cool. She's like, my mom is just something else. Maybe I should put some names down as well. And my dad turns around to her and goes like, just please don't put my name down. That's a comeback, you know, that's a comeback. My mom teased him, right? My dad didn't get all insecure. Oh no, what do you mean? Is our marriage not working? Why would you say that? This is so offensive. He didn't do any of that. He went like, honey, playing with the wrong guy. Just don't put my name down. You know, it's like you have, like, this is how banter works. Now, my mom, she burst out laughing because she gets it. You know, my dad giggled because he gets it as well. But this is what makes it a bit like, you know, a bit more fun. You know, as long as you both understand that it is a joke. You know, okay, going forward, it's going to be a long life. Going forward, what do you do when he steps back, right? So, guys step back sometimes after intimacy, after we spend too much time together. Guys step back sometimes after holidays, when you spend like a weekend together or a week or a couple weeks together and you were with each other all the time. Sometimes they step back and just do their own thing. Sometimes they full on pursuing you and we texting you every day, calling you every day, and you don't hear from him for a few days. Don't panic. If everything is going well in a relationship and you just don't hear from him for a few days, it's fine. Don't have any grumpiness towards it. Don't have an attitude towards it. Just wait for him to get in touch with you first. You know, just wait it out. He didn't contact you for a few days. Do your own thing. Don't panic. If you're panicking, look at the text messages. If you see everything's fine, then you have nothing to worry about. He's just taking a bit of space. He's just doing his thing. He'll be back to you in no time and everything will resume as before. Okay, guys, we're just a bit like that. We're a bit more independent. We need to take their space from time to time. Just don't do the whole thing. Oh, you didn't text me for 2 days. How dare you? I thought we had no relationship together. Or, oh, why you didn't text me for 2 days? Don't you have feelings for me? Or like, don't do any of that, because that's another form of losing emotional control and actually being too open. Because when you're open like that, he reads you as a book. Again, the book gets boring. And he's like, oh, wow, I only didn't contact her for a few days and she's losing all this stuff. Wow, I'm not sure, do I want a girl like that, you know? Oh, hey, Chengi. Chengi was just doing a live 2 minutes ago and she's like from her car and her car is like in front of my face. Okay. Now, going to the number one, number one, I'm not sure what point is that. Point number 8, don't be so available. Ladies, when the guy is into you a lot, he might want to see you every day. He sees you, you behave like a challenge. He can't read you. He's like, I have to charm her. I need to get her in my bed. I like her. I want her. I want to see you every day. I want to see, I'm so like, he texting you all the time. He's like obsessed with you. He's like, I want to see you every day. I want to see you every day. I want to see you every day, right? And ladies, what happens when if you end up seeing him every single day, or more like it's just the beginning of dating or relationship, and you see him like 4 5 times a week, even 3 times a week, it's too much. You're gonna get to know each other too quick, and things will get boring. Also, at the same time, you're showing you don't really have a life besides him. It's just a man walked into your life and you dropped everything. You know, you don't have your friends, you don't have anything, no goals, nothing, no gym, no dancing class, no friend, no family, nothing. It's just all about him. And when you make yourself so available, unknowingly you actually start to put the guy on a pedestal. And when and when he feels that, in the beginning maybe he's all excited, but after a while he starts to get a bit bored, and he's like, wow, it's all about me. And then he's like, oh, all cool, like, oh yeah, it's all about me, I'm the king, blah blah blah, you're so into me. And then what happens, he starts to take you for granted, right? So this is how men start to take women for granted. One of the things, you are spending too much time with him, you're too available, he clicks his fingers and you are there for him. And what do? If you feel the guy is taking you for granted, if you feel like he's not texting or calling you that much, he doesn't want to talk to you on a phone that much, if you're feeling these stuff, all you need to do is step back yourself a little bit. Start to see him maybe not 4 times a week, maybe 2 times a week. Give him an excuse. Tell him you got busy. You started to do a pottery class. You started to take a dancing class. You started to do something else. Stop calling and texting him all the time, or having these long on a phone conversations. Remember, men don't fall in love through talking. So you don't need to talk to him for 2 hours straight. He's not gonna fall in love with that. You can talk to him, but don't make it a big deal. Step back a bit. Don't be so available with your presence and with your mind. Not just like your presence, because people think that don't be so available just with your presence. No, not just with your presence. Don't be so available, too much texting and stuff. Don't be so available with the phone calls. He'll miss you. Then he will start to miss you. You'll be like, oh, Greta, what you're up to, what you're doing. Oh, do you want to hang out? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? So now you're getting back into this routine. And when you come back into it, come back positively. Don't hold a grudge. Don't be like, oh, you took me for granted. You didn't text me, you didn't call me, you don't do this for me, now you want me. No, don't have an attitude. Just go in, like, enjoy yourself. If a guy, take responsibility for yourselves, ladies. A lot of you don't take responsibility. You go like, it's your fault, you're the man, you're horrible, you took me for granted. No, take responsibility. Why did he take you for granted? Because you saw him every day. Why did he take you for granted? Because you were on a phone with him all the time. Because you wear your heart on a sleeve all the time. Why did he took you for granted? Because you were calling and texting him all the time. Why did you took you for granted? Because you were losing emotional control all the time. Because you didn't understand the differences between men and women. So fix these things within yourself, because these are your problems that you have. Fix yourself, right? Don't do these stupid behaviors anymore, and he will not take you for granted. He will put you on a pedestal. He will cherish you. He will adore you. He will want to marry you and spend more time with you. I'm going to tell you a story. I was coaching this girl, I think a couple years ago now. I coach many clients, so many clients. Anyway, I was coaching this girl. She was from USA. She was about late 20s, 27. And first we got one-on-one coaching. When she joined my VIP, she was in it, like we were coaching every day for like a year probably. And she said she was very beautiful, tall, long brown hair, big brown eyes, very beautiful, right? And she said the guys would never ask her out for a second date. All her friends and all her family members were saying, "Oh, you're too beautiful, you're too successful," because she was a doctor. You're too successful, men are intimidated by you, men are intimidated by all these powerful women, you're too beautiful, way too intimidated, blah, 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 right? Obviously, if you're following me for a while, you know that this is not the case, right? Men are not intimidated by beautiful women. Men are not intimidated by... If you behave high value as a successful woman, men are not intimidated by that. Men are into that. If you behave as like this as a successful woman, we are not into that because that's a masculine behavior, right? Anyway, so everybody were telling her this. So she would have one date and guys would ghost her after that one date. She could not get a second date, right? This lady, however, she was not insecure. She was confident. She knew her value and worth. She knew all of it, but she didn't know how to show it. She didn't understood the differences between men and women, and she just didn't know how to present herself. Nobody taught her, right? So I started to coach her. She started to date, and very quickly, because it was easy for her to get dates because she was pretty, very pretty, right? And she applied the strategies that I was telling her. So don't ask him, where do we stand? Don't be like, oh, I'm looking for a relationship. I want to get married with 20 children. I like you so much. Don't come. I was like, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that, right? And she started to date. She met a really cool guy. He was very handsome. He was very popular with girls. I think he was a dentist. They started to date. 6 months in, he proposed to her and got married. He was her first boyfriend. She behaved correctly. The girl that could not get a second date behaves correctly, gets the coaching, behaves correctly, gets married to the first boyfriend. But he was a cool guy. He was a complete ultimate catch. So this is my point, ladies. But if you're not going to take responsibility for yourself, if you're just going to walk around blaming men, you know, this is how a lot of YouTubers get popular. Oh, let's just call every man a narcissist. Let's just blame them all. You know, like it's all their fault. Men are terrible. Men are this, man. That's how you get popular on YouTube. You just do man blaming and you don't take any responsibility for your own behavior. You know, like it's, I'm a perfect woman, men are horrible. That's how you get views on YouTube, you know? But if you actually want to have a happy, healthy relationship, you can't do man blaming. You have to take responsibility for yourself and be like, he ghosted me. Why? Because he's not gonna ghost you if he's into you. He lost attraction for me. Why? Because he's not gonna lose attraction for you if you're behaving in a way that's really attractive to him, right? So why did he lose attraction for you? You know, I'm not saying every guy is perfect. Definitely not. There's a lot of toxic masculinity, as we say, or there's a lot of pickup artists and stuff like that. But there are good men out there too. And if you want a happy relationship, the first thing to do is to learn what you are doing wrong. And it's not the general stuff that I say, oh, control your emotions, let him pursue, be high value. No, everything goes into the detail. Like, show me your text messages. Tell me exactly what's happening in a date. Not like, oh, Greta, we went on a date and then you don't tell me anything about the date. And then you're like, oh, he didn't call me. Okay, I don't have any information. Tell me the detail. what happened on a date? What did you say word by word? What did he say word by word? Did he pay? What, like, tell me the details so I have something to work with. If you're just telling me in general, I can't help you, you know? It's like, you're gonna give me a general situation, I'll give you a general advice, you know? I miss your comments. Why this even true for marriage? What is? Ladies, a lot of times men, like when a man marries you, he doesn't want you to change. He wants you to stay how you are. You know, yes, he wants a family with you and stuff like that, and you take more responsibilities and you're building a life together and you have your goals and etc. etc. But he doesn't want you to change. He doesn't want you to get all controlling, lose emotional control, talk to him 24/7, wear your heart on a sleeve. By the way, talking to a guy and wearing your heart on a sleeve are two different things. You can talk to him about goals and dreams and day to day and with children and all of that. You can talk. You don't have to be quiet. You can talk and have fun and banter and all of that. It's more about what are you talking about? It's when you say like, let's have a conversation. This is what makes them freak out. Because when you go like, oh, you hurt my feelings and blah, 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 blah. You know, but you can talk to him, but you have to think how you speak, filter how you speak. You know, like when I'm coaching a client, I filter. I learned to filter when you after you filter for a few years, you don't filter anymore. This is how you speak. So when you're practicing to be high value, in the beginning you think, you think, you think, you think. Later on, it just comes automatically. You can't do it any other way. You're just automatically behaving like that. It's self-improvement. A lot of people go like, oh, so now do I need to become this another woman and stuff like that? I'm not like that. Ladies, you are still the same girl. You're still gonna have your values and principles and all of that, but you're just kind of changing your perspective towards dating. If you're looking for me, something has not worked for you. You know, like if you want to fix it, first take responsibility for yourself. You can't take responsibility for him. You can't control him. You know, you need to behave in such a way that you behave in such a attractive way that he wants to stay around. He wants to stay around. He wants to give you, he wants to love you, he wants to spend time with you. So you have to be it. You have to change yourself in such an attractive way that he wants to be around you. If you're like, oh, you know, this, and you're trying to control him to stay, where are you, who you with, why are you not, he's not gonna call you more, he's not gonna text you more, he's not gonna do anything more. He'll move away from you. He'll be like, oh, who's this monster? You know, he'll move away from you. So you have to think of what's attractive to him, right? Let me see here. Oh, hey ladies. Greta, I have been intimate with this guy. He knows I'm single, but he's asking, don't you have a boyfriend? When we have FaceTime. Why? We haven't speak about being together, but I wish. I'm not sure what you're saying, hon. I have been intimate with this guy. So you've been intimate with this guy and he's asking you, don't you have a boyfriend? That sounds a bit weird. Maybe you gave him some mixed signals that you're cheating on somebody. You know, maybe because it sounds like, why would a guy say otherwise? Unless he wants to check, are you single or not? Sometimes guys, oh, this is so stupid. I had it not too many, a few times. I was like, why would he say that? Like, it's so ridiculous. Sometimes guys come back to you, you know, like guys always usually come back and we send like a message out of the blue, how is your boyfriend? And it's like, what do you mean? Like, what boyfriend? You know? It's like, and what actually we doing? We just want to find out, do you have a boyfriend or not? So instead of asking you, hey, how you doing? Are you single? Are you seeing somebody? We don't ask you that. We just go like, how is your boyfriend? So I find this is very weird, but this is actually could be a way for a man to ask you, are you single or not? So maybe this is what he's doing. He could be either you gave him mixed signals that saying that you have a boyfriend, or he's checking, do you have a boyfriend? Sometimes it's like that. It's about respecting men, which is self-respecting. It is about respecting men, and it's about respecting ourselves. Ladies, it's very important to respect yourself. If you do not respect yourself, he's not gonna respect you either. Now, this kind of implies with the game quite a lot. A lot of times, guys, bet on a playing site, they will ask you to do things that are just not right, you know? Or he'll tell you something off that's just not right. And if you'll play along with it, even though you know that it's not right, because logically thinking, you both know that it's not right, but you're too scared to say no to him, and because you want him to like you don't want to have this, and you're trying to please him, even though you know it's the wrong thing to do, you still do it. You know what's gonna happen long term? He's gonna lose respect for you, and he will start to take you for granted. But if you will stand up for yourself and you'll say like, oh, no, I'm not gonna do it, it's wrong. Let's say sleeping with somebody, right? Oh no, like let's say, oh, it's easy, let's, let's enjoy ourselves, let's enjoy the moment, blah, 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 blah. And you go like, oh, I like to take things slow and stuff. You don't fall for this. You're showing self-respect with your action. So you're not trying to please him by doing what's wrong. And what's gonna happen, he'll respect you more for it. Other times it could be something like he'll ask you to lie, or he'll play a game on you. Like basically my point is, stand up to what's right to do. That way you will show self-respect. When you show self-respect, even if you're gonna have this, if logically thinking you're still doing the right thing and you're showing self-respect, so maybe in the beginning he's gonna get angry, but when he comes down and he starts to miss you, he will think of how you showed your self-respect, and you'll get more attractive. So in the immediately he might be annoyed, he might be like, but when he goes away and thinks about it, he'll be like, actually, yeah, I got so much respect for her. She's cool. But if you try to please him and you do as he tells you, and etc., etc., he'll start taking you for granted. Same as like if you have sex with him on a first date because you're trying to please him, or because you think that having sex with him on a first date you're not gonna lose him, etc., etc. I'm so annoyed I used that word. I was so trying not to use that word. Just because YouTube doesn't let me monetize it when it's like, oh, I'm like, I've tried to use it with sleep. Anyway, you know, so, then he'll start to lose respect for you, only because you try to please him, right? So it's really, so your self-respect is the most important thing, and it's actually really hard to show, but when you do the right thing and you stick to it, even though he gets angry with you for a split second or for a few days, long term, he will respect you more. And ladies, as the saying goes, no man loves a woman that doesn't respect herself. That's just how it is, Another thing what I wanted to say, how to get him to open up. If you have any questions, post them here. How to get him to open up. This is very interesting. A lot of women go like, oh, he's so close-minded, and he's not open, and etc., and etc. Ladies, if you're gonna be pushing a man constantly to open up, he's not gonna open up. But if you're gonna stop pressuring him, if your men open up, then you don't open up. This is very interesting. When you behave high value, when he can't read you that much, when you're staying a challenge, when you have a lot of fun together, he, after a while, a man starts to open up. It's really, it's very, it's like magical. It's crazy. You know, we fall in love with you like that as well. We go like, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. You know, because it's like he can't, like, I think, ladies, until it will stick in your head that safety and security is not what makes a man fall in love with a woman, you will not experience this whole I love you, I love you, I love you so much, you know. But if you actually keep a bit of mystery, you're not a chatterbox, you're not wearing your heart on a sleeve that much, you're keeping a bit of, you know, you're cool and fun and stuff like that, you're gonna get I love you all over. A few months in, the boy's done. You know, it's gonna be really, really, really nice. And this is actually how you get each other's love needs fulfilled. Because when a guy is gonna come to you like, I love you, his feelings towards you are increasing. So he's gonna be there for you more. He's gonna be more reliable. You're gonna ask him to do something for you, he'll do it for you. He'll have your back like crazy. You know, like whatever you want, he's got it. He'll be protective over you. He'll care for you, all of that. And how does it happen? When you fulfill his love needs, when you don't do the crazy stuff that the world is telling you to do, when you do what I'm telling you to do, you're gonna fulfill his love needs, and he'll fall in love with you so much, you're gonna be like, wow, I never thought it's possible, you know. And when a man falls, it's so beautiful, like it's so nice, and it's so beautiful. And actually, ladies, on my Instagram is called Ladies Relationship Coach. Go through, I have a lot of highlights, and in the highlights, if you're bothered, go through my client stories, and you will see like what the clients wrote, and they just say like this, like, I changed the behaviors, I started to do what you're telling me to do, and he's doing this for me, he's doing this for me, he's doing this for me, he's like all over, he's crazy about me, you know. And it's just, it's so beautiful, and we all deserve that, and we all can have it. Literally all of us can have it if we just take responsibility for our stupid behavior that makes men lose interest in us because we behave in the unattractive way, and start to behave a correct way. And when that's it, just change. Like, you have to, like, we always have to change ourselves. You know, I'm not what I was at 20 years old. I'm not what I was at 30 years old. You know, I'm not what I was at 10 years old. You keep growing, you keep changing and improving and changing, and it's just, and you become more attractive to everyone and more pleasing. Oh, Josie, you need to rewatch my live. It's a very long live, and I'm sharing a lot of details, because sometimes as women we have this nurturing feminine energy. It's just about growing and understand men and not like us. Nurturing, ladies, yes, women are nurturing, and that's fantastic. You know, ladies, why you were made so nurturing? For, in order to look after your children. Children, baby, nurturing. You want to be more nurturing, have more children, nurture them. You want more to be nurtured, have more, have 20 children, nurture them all. And let a man take care of you and provide for you and all of that. I'm not saying you should never be sweet to your guy and stuff like that. You can, of course you can. The problem is when you overdo it. He's not your child. He's a masculine male that wants respect from you. A respect and trust is a masculine man's love need. when you trust him, when you respect him, when you respect him to provide for you, when you respect him to have your back, when you respect him that he can go to the world himself and you can conquer the world for you, when you know, like he can die for you, when he goes to the war, you know, who needs nurturing? We need nurturing. We need caring. We can't go to the world like that. We're like, oh, I need cuddles. Give me a hug. Yes. Yes, stroke my hair. Hugs and kisses. Yes, I need nurturing. Give me nurturing. I need cuddles and kisses and all of that. We need caring. We need nurturing. We nurture one another as females and we love it. You give a present, I don't know, I got you a lipstick, I made sure it's your favorite one, I put a ribbon on it. You know, we need nurturing, women to women, because we love the caring bit. We are the vulnerable ones. You know, we are the ones that don't have insane levels of testosterone. We are the ones that can't work forever because you get a burnout. If you look at the burnouts, who have more burnouts, men or women? Women are burning out all the time. We can do it like men can, yes, for 2 years. And then everyone's burned out. We can run as a man can run, yes, for a bit until you burn out. And he's still going off. You know? We need nurturing. A man needs respect and he needs trust. And you need to be like, yo, that's my guy. Strong, powerful. You know, like, yes, you can do a bit of nurturing, a little bit of, you know, like you get it with like kisses and all of that. You get that nurturing, but he doesn't need it. Yes, you can cook for him. Yes, he provides for you. He had a hard day at work. Yes, you can make him his favorite meal, but he doesn't need like, oh, you know, let me feed you. No, he doesn't need that. You know, your kids need that. You want to nurture, have 20 babies. Nurture, get a cat, a dog, a parrot, and nurture them all. Right? Adopt. Help others. Community. Join a community. People need your help. Nurture others. Nurture elderly. Nurture our children. Help people that need help. Make a cake for your neighbors. Nurture your neighbors. Nurture. You want to nurture. You know, like a man comes back home and you're like, oh, nurture. Like, he'll be like, oh, okay, Greta, I'm off. I'm going back to work. It's too much. He needs a bit, but not too much. A man needs, you know what, ladies, with love needs, the way it works. Technically, men and women, we all have like the same love needs, but some things we need more and other things men need more. So for example, a man's priority love need is respect and trust. A woman's priority love need is caring. So him making you feel safe and caring, right? Now you still need him to trust you and you still need him to respect you, but this is a bit lower. First, you need him to care about you, you know, to give him safety. Respect and trust is a bit lower. So for him, respect and trust is here, but he still needs a bit of caring and a bit of safety, but it's lower. So we have like technically the same love needs, but it's just like we have different priorities of those things. You know, so you can still nurture him, but nurturing is somewhere here. Whereas for a woman, nurturing is somewhere here, you know? So it's just kind of, it's a bit like that. You can't like, you still need to provide these things, but a bit differently, right? Okay, ladies, so it's been amazing catching up with you all. I hope you all enjoyed this live. Please share it with friends who need it. If you want some one-on-one coaching, I have all sorts of packages. monthly, weekly. I even have everyday package. That one is really expensive, but it's really worth it if you can afford it. If you can't, there is daily, monthly, hourly, etc. Really would recommend you to get the video differences between men and women and from single to a relationship. And then obviously if you're in London or New York, you cannot get away by not getting the games video. If you live like Eastern Europe somewhere, like you don't need the games video, it's fine. Just know the differences between men and women, it's fine. You're fine. If you live in London or New York or LA, like these kind of big things, you need the games video. Like you need the games video. You need it. A lot of women think we don't, you need it. I have High Value Women course for sale as well, where I'm breaking everything down and it's going a bit more in depth, and a bit more into personal development, right? So everything is on my website, the one-on-one coaching, all the videos for sale and all of that. I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching, staying with me this whole over an hour. Really enjoyed this live. Have an amazing day. Let me know in the comments after this live, what did you think? Did you enjoy it? And have an amazing weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Kisses. Bye, ladies. Bye-bye.